Hey everyone, welcome. I want to make sure you can hear me. Please let me know if you cannot hear me. In today's session, I'm going to go over some AI. I'm actually going to do some learning because this section of the AI conversational retriever chain is the next section I want to do a video about. So I did setup a couple of weeks ago. I did the LLM chain, and I explained the whole part of this chapter, OpenAI, using this tab, how to install, how to call the module, invoke it, and ask a question. It gets a bit more complicated, but explain it in the video. And then yesterday or 2 days ago, when I released it, the new video, I did the retrieval chain, right, which is pretty cool. Taking any document from the web, a web page or a PDF, and just summarizing it, which was a revelation for me because I remember using these long. My washing machine just got broken, and it said like D3 or something. I can't remember. And I had no idea what that meant. So I had to either look online or I took out the manual, look for like had to find the troubleshooting section, and then I looked for this error. So it took me about 7 minutes. But with this app that I created, within 1 second, I could just ask the question and it gave me the answer. Hey, Mike.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You can just ignore me and do your thing.
Cool. No problem. I know. I'll just going over, telling everyone that how it was pretty like a kind surprise for me to create the app that I created 2 days ago. The app that focused on the retrieval chain, which is right here, the dive deeper retrieval chain, because it's retrieval chain right here, because it allowed me to take any web page and any PDF online and just summarize it or ask a question. So instead of looking for the exact, combing through it and looking for the exact error and way to fix it, I could just ask it the question and it gave me the exact answer that I needed. So it just saves a lot of time. It's incredible. And it was very easy to make. It's pretty much just putting all of this together, and we had it. So I'm excited about this chapter and the things that one can do with LangChain. And then the next chapter is going to be conversational retrieval chain. This I want to do hopefully this weekend or the next, because I also want to do a video this weekend on Dash AG Grid. This might help you, Mike, if you plan to use Dash AG Grid in your app. But I want to do a video on Dash AG Grid, how to combine. I'll actually show that here in a second. How to combine a radio item to the AG Grid filter. And then I'll do this chapter. I want to go down the quick start and finish the quick start chapter of the docs in LangChain, and with a focus on AI, obviously. And this is interesting because it's a conversation retrieval train. So you can actually keep talking to other people, not to other people, but you can keep talking to the machine. Because the first one we created was just one question and answer. You can't really have a conversation. Mike, did you ever do? I know you're in the last couple of weeks you were focused on this project for data visualization in the Charming Data platform on AI data sets, the February project. But do you know how the retrieval chains work within AI?
In what sense?
Like, do you know what's happening under the hood?
I do know that it stores it in memory. Is that what you're talking about? Like that type of aspect? Yeah.
So this was new to me, actually. I was like, how did I actually have a conversation? And for other people watching this, it's actually pretty fascinating, because if we just do like the regular chain, right? There's no training there. We're just we're just telling the large language model to take the whole text, which is right here. Where is it? Take the whole text using web-based loader of this web page, and just load. There's actually reading it with Beautiful Soup, the open source Python library. It's parsing all the text, so we're obviously removing images and junk, and just just like 20,000 one document, 20,000, 30,000 words, or /n in a word for space, and then it's using the open AI embedding module to actually, all this section right here breaks up those like 20,000 words into different documents, what we will call chunks, right? And those chunks so it makes it a lot easier to feed into your LLM, which in our case is going to be the open AI that we're going to use. I think we declared it here above. Where did we declare it? OpenAI. Oh, it's not here, but I put it in my document. Obviously, you have to declare the LLM to be able to read it. And it's similar to actually the challenge that you had, Mike. Like, there's only a certain amount. You had it on GPT. There's only a certain amount of tokens that the LLM you can use, right? So when you ask it to only give you one, I don't remember the exact terminology you used, Mike, but one answer for a particular occupation and task, it was able to give it. It was a long answer, but it was able to give it. But when you said just create the whole CSV sheet or whatever, and give me answers for each occupation, there is in OpenAI, there is a maximum output of tokens. So it can only give, like, I don't know, 20,000 or 30,000 tokens. And that's why I wouldn't do like the whole thing for you until it's not possible. And it just gave you like one by one. So similar here is to input. If we ask a question, it's going to have to grab the right input. If we don't break it into chunks like we do here, splitter, right? If we don't break the whole input, the whole, let's say, Wikipedia page that we gave it, it's just too much input. There's just way too many tokens. You're giving it 120,000 words. I don't know, might be 40,000 tokens, and that's way too much. You can actually, I hope we can find later the documentation that says, because I saw it before, what's the max amount of tokens that you can use for 3.5 or 4.0. But let's say we're using a whole manual of 100 pages, way too much to feed into the input. So this breaks it into chunks, right? And saves it and then converts the chunks of text into, it embeds it. So it converts it into a vector, which is really an array of numbers. And it's fascinating. I'm taking this course online. The course that you showed me, Mike, you told me about how for people that are watching this and are not sure, these vectors, these array of numbers, are just the way that a computer can read the information and understand if what that chunk of text is all about. Are we talking about, is it a clown that's eating ice cream? No. Is it about World War II? No. Is it about cities? Yes. Is it about architecture? Yes. So it's slowly, like through like 1,300 numbers in that vector, it really understands, has a better idea of what the text is all about, or at least a chunk. And so we have like whatever, 100 different chunks of text, right, that we split all the documentation into, and they're stored in this vector store. And then once we have the prompt, we ask the question, we train the system, answer the question only on the information we give you, the context, and then the input is going to be whatever question we have, right? Where's the question down here? Input right here. How can I be testing? So it just combines everything into, where is it? Right here. It combines both chains, the vector store with retriever and the LLM and the prompt. And then once you ask the question, and this is the fascinating part for me, it's not really as smart as I thought. What it's doing is just based on this question, which also turns, I think, into like an array of numbers to better understand what it's all about, it looks for the chunk of the array of numbers that is most similar to this question. If I'm asking about Langsmith and help and testing, it's going to look for a different array in all the documents that it split and all the chunks. It's going to look for the chunk that's most similar. What chunk talks about Langsmith, talks about support and testing, and then it'll just spit it out together. It's going to give it, we don't see it yet, but it's going to give, and here in the response, it's going to give the most appropriate chunk, and it's going to give the question, and then it's just, and then it's just predicting an answer, right? Which it will turn from numbers into text. So it's, I don't know, Mike, I know you were taking this course. I don't know how far you got, but it seems pretty neat way of making computers work.
Yeah, so I did get to that part. I did find that interesting. One thing that I didn't quite understand is I think they said ChatGPT 4 is up to about like you said about 1,300. I think they're called dimensions or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me, like even with 1,300 ways to evaluate, how do you know? Is there a specific question for? Is this about clowns? Because there's tens of thousand things in the world.
Right.
How
will you do that?
I guess also, even though there's 13,000 or 1,300, let's say, I don't think it's binary of yes, no. I think it's on a scale of -1 to +1.
Oh, right.
So a value of 0.57, what does that mean on that
right.
weighting?
Right.
That scale.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Right. It takes the whole chunk array of numbers. It tries to evaluate it between divide it up between -1 to 1, and then it gives it a certain weight, and that's how it compares to the question, which also has a certain weight. What did you say it was, Mike? Let's see, 1,300, number of layers, 96 dimensions. Oh, here it doesn't say. But what I did wanted to find is the number of tokens permitted OpenAI. Depending on the model used. Well, 120 is shared between prompts and completion, meaning between inputs and outputs. 128,000 tokens. And here, this is a good. I remember reading this. This is a good document. Explains how tokens are created. My favorite color is red. Text, token ID. Whoops. Oh, this is just a picture. And here are the numbers. Interesting. So let me go back to the model. If you pay $20 a month, at least in the US, it's you can use GPT-4. The free version is GPT 3.5. And in GPT-5, context window, 16,000 tokens. Returns a maximum of 4,000 output tokens, Mike. So that's probably why it told you. Well, this is 3.5, but let's say, I don't know. Let's say for the argument's sake, this is 4,000 for GPT-4. That's probably why it couldn't return everything you asked it to return when you wanted like the long list, but only one at a time.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to measure it is 1,000 tokens comes out to about 750 words.
Oh, you saw that? It's about
yeah, because I looked that up, and okay. So I think like 4,000 tokens would come out to like 3,000 words.
Yeah, 75%. Oh yeah, exactly. All right. Okay, so that makes sense. And then we can read more about it. But the training up to September 20, I thought that the latest training was April 2023. Oh, maybe that was GPT-4.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah.
Or even more, December 2023 for GPT-4. That's why there's such a big difference between 3. I don't know if you face a difference when you were doing your project, but when I ask ChatGPT questions on a daily basis, I can really see the difference between GPT 3.5 answers and GPT 4, which was treated until December.
Um, no. Although I've heard many people say there's a definite difference. Um,
But you haven't. Okay.
I've mostly just used 4.
Yeah, me too. I got lucky that I'm able to get 4. Anyway, so this is very good documentation to read about the tokens of each model, um, and what the data is trained on. Soon we will have Laura is making. Well, Mike is making a very good web app that will be released soon. We'll make a video on that. Laura is also making in the Charming Data project. Oh, I'm not logged in. Is also making a very good app. Let's see here. That Oh, Mike, you got your coffee? Oh my god.
It's tea.
Oh, okay, good, good. You didn't torture me. Um, um, so Laura is making a very good app here that is going to be one of the Charming Day community members that that shows this one of these from the AI data sets from I think it's from our data, our world and data, shows how all you have to do is really these machines. The more power you put into it, training, the size of the bubble is the size of the data, the amount of data trained on. There's a very clear correlation between that and others, which makes me think, Mike, of like um, the race for chips, right? Getting computer chips and more power, uh, and computers that can house more data, because it's just going to make the API stronger. Um, I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, but I guess it's good to know that it's a clear line between what makes the AI powerful, the large language model. Palm 2. I've never heard of Palm 2. Anyway, I'm excited about.
Oh, yeah. I it's funny you have like Bloomberg on there. It's the second one listed.
Yeah.
I um I saw a podcast the other day and they were saying Bloomberg spent like a lot of money to make their own LLM
Okay.
based upon, because the idea is a company like, if you're going to make your own LLM, what really makes it valuable is, do you have proprietary data? And
Okay.
they would have a lot. So they made their own LLM. I think it's called Bloomberg GPT,
Uh
but
huh.
they spent a lot of money on it. Um, then there was, I forgot who it was, some company you've heard of, but there was like an open source LLM. It may have been like
Meta.
Facebook's or something like that. But they they just used that open source LLM and then fed a bunch of like open source data into it,
Okay.
and created an LLM that gives you pretty much the same quality of responses as Bloomberg's, but
Okay.
for like they spent like $100 on it,
Oh,
where
really?
Bloomberg spent like a million or something. So it's kind of
That
funny
wasn't worth
how,
it.
yeah.
Oh, here it is. This is a data set that Laura is using for her app. What is this? Oh, Gemini. This wasn't here. Is this recent data? I don't think I saw Gemini before. Gemini is a new Google one that supposedly is better than or stronger in certain cases than GPT-4. You can see here that it had more. Well, the training data set size is almost the same, 13 trillion, and this is 13 trillion, so the same. But they added more training computation petaflop. We got to read more about this. Um, they're like 12. What is it? 12 billion. And then 86%, 84%. Knowledge test. So it seems like the knowledge test, the GPT-4 still does a little bit better than Gemini. Meta. Oh, Meta has all these llamas. Bloomberg. Yeah, it didn't do very well for the amount of money spent. Very interesting data set. So everybody, if you're just joining this data set and many others in the AI section of the Open Our World in Data, was part of the February project in Charming Data, Project for Career Development, AI in Today's World. Um, you can read the comments and you can read more about the projects here in the project charts. Um, Fascinating apps that the community members are creating. Uh, the submission date is the end of this week, so you can will probably be a little bit late to join, although you can give it a shot. You can always come here and see in the project chats what people are, the apps that they have created, and I'll try and make videos with them as well so you can see. Right, let me go back. Different models. I'm excited, Mike. You know what I'm excited about? We're using Whisper because I haven't used it yet, and there's certain cases where it's necessary. It could be very helpful, right? Converting audio into text.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the reverse of what Manali did, right? The text into speech. This is converting the audio that we hear from a YouTube, whatever, an audio book, converting that into text. Um,
Yeah, I can see that as being kind of like a let's say you buy a book and you want to somehow feed that into your own model, you
mm-hmm.
know, how do you actually get the text for it when it's given to you in like a, you know,
You mean
like
if you buy an
Amazon?
audio book?
No, like a physical book or
Okay.
like Kindle book. Let's say you buy a Kindle book. How do you get that text into your model if you wanted to? Is there a way to get the format? So yesterday I was thinking like, and I guess in the case with Whisper, if you buy the audio book, you just press play and you have Whisper listen to it. It will transcribe it, and then you've
Right.
got the whole text that you can feed into your model to pull from whenever you want
Yeah,
as the
exactly.
workaround.
And then you can feed that text into. I mean, if you're restricted, most books come in text, but if for some reason you have it as an audio, then you can, like you said, put it into text, and then you could feeding into like a retrieval chain. You can ask questions about the book or summarize it. Um, Definitely, I think a lot of this is used when what is it called, translations, when people are speaking to each other in meetings or in presentations or workshops, and then you want to save the text so people can then read it, right? Or you want to do a summary of it and then share it with all the attendees. Then uh, this is I bet you like a translation when you're talking to English to somebody who speaks French, and this could you have to convert the text and then translate it. This could also be used. I haven't used it yet, but I would really like to use it. For example, within Dash, like I would have to learn how to connect a microphone to Dash and then use it. Microphone components in Dash. I would connect the microphone, like listen to the recording of inside a Dash app, and then I would use Whisper to. Oh, Thomas, I think did it from Finland. Yeah, and then audio, and then I would retrieve that audio with Whisper, or no, I wouldn't retrieve, but I would feed the audio into Whisper. Where did Whisper go? Um, and uh, and then translate into put it into text. There's like so many cool things. I don't know what to focus on for like the next videos. I know I wanna do the quick start, finish this for sure with the conversation retriever chain and an agent, and then I'll with time I'll go over more and more documentation. But I also want to do like other like cool things like what we talked about, like Whisper or text to image. Um, I don't know, Mike. Is there anything like you and the Charming Data community members? Your opinion is very important to me. So if there is something within the AI or large language model, LangChain world that you would like to learn more about, I'll be happy. Just let me know, and I'll be happy to make a video about it.
Yeah, well, I think one like this. this week we'll be wrapping up the February project.
Right.
Then I'm gonna move into revisiting LangChain. So once I get hands on with it, I'll hit my roadblocks, and
Right.
then I'll have better sense of suggestions.
Okay. Okay. So the next video is definitely going to be conversation retrieval chain, which is also I just got into it with the Udemy class. What is his name? I want to recommend him. But so this will be like the next section that he explains as well in the class, where really all it does it's you need to feed the answer, the most recent input, like the question, what is the architecture of Paris, and then the conversation history, like the answer, you will feed it into a new chain to generate like a search query. So when I ask the second question, if I'm asking a question, it's going to take the input, it's going to give me an output and answer based on the prompt, right? And then if I ask a follow-up question, we need there to exist an element where that the initial input and the initial output is fed into a history, right? Chat history, and then that is retrieved to ask the second question, and so on and so on. Again, it's fed into history, and then is retrieved to ask the fourth question. It just builds upon each other. Okay, right. It takes puts everything into chat history. Can I help me tell it? This is a chat history. You see, oh, interesting. Here it is. This was the input that we gave it, the content. This was the output that it gave us before, and then it uses this chat history for a new chain, right? And with a new question. Tell me how, and so on and so on. Right. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do a video about this.
Yeah, and I think there's two ways it can handle it. One is, so I have my history, my back and forth. Does it save that verbatim, or does it summarize it? And I think the ideal is for it will summarize your conversation to cut down on how many tokens are getting passed back and forth. So there will be some information lost, but it's quicker and uses less tokens.
That's a good point. I wonder if in this example it's summarizing or just taking it verbatim, but that's a good point. And then we'll do the, what do we have here? Then we have the agent. I haven't used agents before in LangChain. I've used it with I've seen it used with Crew AI for they just put agents together for major tasks. I've heard like agents hasn't necessarily been proven yet to be very efficient, but this is like beyond what I've learned yet or what I've posted about. All right, let's close this. Perfect. Mike, I did prepare this for you just in case. Where is it? Per column. Okay, so this is, I know you were thinking of using Dash AG Grid. So here, how can I share this link? Oh, there we go. If you do end up using, do you think you'll need the color system for your app that you're making, your AG Grid? Because it's fairly easy with Dash AG Grid.
For this one, I'm thinking less likely I'll use AG Grid just because the deadline's coming.
Oh, okay.
And if you think about it, tomorrow is the live meetup, so I probably won't be touching it tomorrow night. So it's kind of like I have tonight to wrap it all up.
Okay.
Before the due date.
Cool. Great. Let's close this. Wonderful. Let me see if go back to the stream. All right. Perfect. So yeah, just as a summary, before we log off, this week we are finalizing the data. Where is it? Here we go. We're finalizing the AI data set project on February 29th. And then we're going to go into a new project for Columbia wildfires. We're going to try and rebuild the NASA web app that highlights fires in all over the world, but we'll focus on Colombia because there are certain things to improve in that project, in that data set that NASA provides. So stay tuned. That is to come. I think it's right here. Where did I put it? I put it in community discussions, I think. But that's going to come here um, in a few days. Upcoming March project, probably today, maybe even today or tomorrow. Um, and this will be the March project. And then I'm still in conversations with the VOST and European Commission for the transparency reporting platform project. So exciting times. We have a lot of different. Might have two projects happening simultaneously in March. Um, so yeah, join the community. It's completely open. It's completely free, and we'll see you there. Oh, we got a visitor. Hey, KR. Hello. Oh, you lost the connection. All right. All right, Mike. Anything else from you?
No. Yeah, I'm almost done with the app, so I'll be working on it tonight. And then I'll see you at the meetup tomorrow.
And you have the 20 tomorrow. The meetup is in like always in New York City, around Midtown. You want to learn more information? You can see more about it in the events, the exact location. Um, so I'll see you there, Mike. But then you also have the 29th. Until midnight. So you don't have to join
Yeah,
in tomorrow. Okay,
yeah.
cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining, Mike.
All
We'll see
right. Well,
you
thank
all
you.
next week. Oh, well, I'll see
Goodbye.
you tomorrow, Mike. Bye bye.
Yep. Bye.